I transmigrated into the body that holds my heart, Part 3. I jumped the moment our eyes met. My eyes blinked rapidly, as if trying to confirm what just happened. Dear Aunt Lou rushed to my side, her arm steadying me. The man who opened the door, coffee and sandwich in hand, froze, then dropped everything with a splatter and bolted from the room, shouting for the doctors. I held my hands tightly together, still feeling the warmth when he holds my hand. In the corner, the door burst open. A flurry of doctors entered. They crowded around his bed, machines beeping, voices firm but urgent. I watched from the sidelines, detached yet tethered. It felt like déjà vu. The same chaos, the same confusion. That moment when I opened my eyes for the first time as Chrissy. Only this time, I wasn't the patient. I was the witness. A wild thought hit me. What if he has amnesia too? I nearly laughed aloud. What were the odds? Or worse, what if he's not the real Tristan Xavier? Just like I'm not truly Chrissia, may Zane God, I'm losing it. Truly losing it. The air shifted, suddenly sharp pain bloomed in my chest. I clutched at my ribs, gasping. Are you all right, dear? Aunt Lou pulled me gently into an embrace, her voice laced with worry. I clenched my eyes shut, begging my heart to behave. Not now, I pleaded. Please stay calm. When I opened my eyes, I saw Aunt Lou's eyes glistening with tears. I forced a smile. I'm fine. No, we're leaving. She was firm now, trying to guide me toward the door. But I resisted. Please, Aunt Lou. Just, not yet. First, my legs felt like lead. I had no strength to move. Second, I couldn't bear to leave him. Not when he had just come back. I looked at Tristan. Even bruised and battered, he was breathtaking. Faded cuts lined his cheek, but they couldn't hide the strength of his features. There was a peace in his face now, like the storm had passed and left him dreaming. Mr. Xavier, can you hear me? One of the doctors asked, leaning close. Tristan didn't speak, but his gaze darted slightly, recognition flickering. If you can hear me, press my hand. He pressed the doctor's hand, not hard, not urgent, but real. Thank God, I whispered. I stood there, frozen, watching them assess him, poke and prod gently, talking in careful tones. Then a voice sliced through the air like a whip. Chrissia, May Zane. I winced. Mrs. Zane stormed into the room, eyes sharp, voice loaded with panic. I was worried sick when I didn't find you in your room. Calm down, Hazel, Aunt Lou intervened. She's with me. Mrs. Zane paused, exhaled, and gathered her composure. Why are you here? She asked more softly. For gossip, Aunt Lou said breezily, before I could answer, then winked at me. I choked on a laugh. Aunt Lou, you chaotic angel. How rude of you. Mrs. Zane rolled her eyes. Let's go. She placed a gentle hand on my back and guided me toward the exit. As I stepped out, I glanced back one last time. That's when I saw it. Tristan lifted his hand. It hovered there, like he wanted to reach out again. And then I left. At least he's awake now. He's alive. The doctors will take care of him. I want to marry Tristan Xavier. I announced it like it was the weather. Loud, certain, and absolutely inappropriate for the situation. The room fell into stunned silence. Chrissia's family know. My family now, I reminded myself, looked at me as though I'd grown two heads. God gave me this life, this second chance, and I wasn't going to waste a single breath of it. Not anymore. No. Two voices snapped back, in perfect sync. Christopher Zane, my father, and Hansel, my brother. Total boss mode. Their eyes practically glowed red. Why not? I whined dramatically, even throwing in a pout for effect. Old Martha would've died of embarrassment, but Chrissia felt free. Spoiled, even, and damn it, for once, I wanted to be that girl. The old me always just existed, floating on luxury, invisible in her own life, never asked, never wanted too much. But this life, this body made me bold. We were gathered in my VIP hospital room, a little too full for comfort. Grandma and Grandpa sat quietly in the corner. Grandpa peeling an orange with maddening precision, Grandma nibbling slices like she was watching a soap opera. My cousins were giggling in a corner. Aunt Lou gave me a teasing smirk. Mom looked like she just witnessed the apocalypse, eyes wide, mouth ajar. And Dad and Hansel, boiling, because I said so. Dad thundered, pointing a commanding finger at me like this was the 1800s. But Dad, you don't even know the man, Hansel barked, stepping forward like a soldier stepping in front of danger. And that's when it hit me harder than the 4-needle they used last week. Chrysia had never met Tristan Xavier. Not even once. Not at any party. Not at any gala. Why? Because he only attended business-related events, and she was always too sick to go. Confined to her hospital suite until now. Still, I argued, crossing my arms with full-blown teenage brattiness. I want him. Only him. Yes, I know. Dramatic. Unhinged. But for once, it felt so good to want something out loud. Dad rubbed his temple like I was his worst headache. You're 19, Chrysia. What marriage are you talking about? He's a 30-year-old billionaire tycoon. Not some boy you can flirt with on Instagram. And he's our business rival, he added, practically spitting the word. rival, in case you forgot what that means. I sulked, like I was auditioning for a telenovela. Hansel stepped closer, arms crossed. And let me remind you, he added, he's 30. I nearly laughed. As Martha, I was 25. 30 was exactly my type. An overworked, emotionally unavailable, brooding billionaire. Yes please, sign me up. Tattoo his name across my fate. I pressed my lips together and let my eyes water. Big, glistening, guilt-tripping tears. I felt safe, loved, unjudged. The shift was instant. I'd never done this before. As Martha, crying meant surrender. It meant losing. But as Chrysia, Dad's fury cracked. Hansel took a step back, unsure. But Mom walked straight toward me, arms wide. She hugged me. At first, I thought it was just for show. But her warmth made something in me break. And just like that, the tears came. Not elegant little sobs, no. Ugly, aching cries that I buried in her shoulder. I wasn't sure what I was crying for. For Martha, for Chrysia, for Tristan. Or maybe just because, for the first time in either life, someone held me when I broke. Hunger strike always wins. One skipped dinner was all it took. Now, here I am sitting on the hospital bed. My untouched tray of food before me while Mom and Dad perch on the couch like reluctant negotiators. Apparently, I've reached dangerous brat level. If you eat your dinner, Dad said, rubbing his temples like he was making a deal with the devil, we'll talk to Tristan. When he's okay. If and only if, Mom corrected sternly. I smiled. Big, bright, victorious. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I picked up my spoon like a queen raising her scepter and took the first bite of the day. Across the room, Aunt Lou chuckled. Money indeed can't buy family, she muttered like a sage with a smoothie. And she was right. This family, loud, dramatic, impossible, was priceless. Mom gave me a sharp look. The kind that says I want to yell at you, but I'm too tired for the drama. In the end, she sighed and let it go. Then, out of nowhere, what do you like about him? She asked. Dad flinched, like someone just threw salt on a fresh wound. I'm not ready for this talk, he declared, waving his hand in surrender like he'd just lost a war. I'm going out for air. He didn't wait for a reply. Just left. Mom smirked. Coward, she whispered under her breath. And then, without skipping a beat, she turned back to me. So, she pressed. What do you like about him? Because he's handsome, I said with full sincerity. Chrysia. Me. Her voice had that strict, motherly edge. Answer me truthfully. Don't play games. I sighed, letting the spoon clatter onto the tray. I turned to her, my expression softening. I'm serious, Mom. She raised an eyebrow. Still not buying it. There are a lot of handsome men out there, she pointed out, crossing her arms like a lawyer in court. I know, I said. But, I paused. The weight of it settled on me all at once. And Mom's sensitive, perceptive leaned, in her face unreadable. When I was dying, I began softly. I felt like I was all alone. My voice cracked, and I looked down at my hands. Back when I was Martha, I was truly alone. But when I saw Tristan, lying there with no one, it moved me. My throat tightened. Mom, I'm so blessed to have you. This family, this love. Tears pooled at the corners of my eyes. I want to share that with him. She blinked at me, stunned into silence. You don't know the man, sweetheart, she finally whispered. I nodded slowly. Maybe not. But the truth was, I felt like I did. Or at least, I wanted to. Desperately. Ever since I saw him in that bed, something in me, shifted. Something that belonged to no one else. It wasn't just pity. Or admiration. It was something hungry and hopeful and maybe just a little selfish. There was something in his face that night when I first saw him, a look anguish. Maybe even panic. Desperation. For someone, and whoever that someone was. I hated her. I envied her. Because he looked at her like she was his whole world slipping away. And I wanted God help me. I wanted him to look at me like that.